back in my body, back behind my eyes. I'm back in control. I'm ready to drive back behind the wheel. Are you ready to ride off into a field of road, into the night, into the night, into the night, into the night.
Into the night we go. Oh yeah, we're mixing away here. We got 4 days. The deadline is coming. The clock is ticking. Nathan is falling apart. Pip's holding it together. We're bringing in a sensei. We need some words of wisdom. We need some guidance. Wait, hold on. We're not quite there yet. You'll see it. Actually, I shouldn't have cut you off. You probably. American Night Owl is filmed.
No, it's sounding great, everybody.
Audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Thompson reporting live from that's not your studio, is it? Or is it?
Yeah.
Just another side of the studio.
This is the control room area.
Yeah, last time I saw you in your studio, it looked a little different. It was probably a different angle.
Yeah, I've got the whole live room over there.
Oh, man.
So, got doors and the whole thing. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, you're going to have to come on here more often because there's a lot of questions I already want to ask you, but I don't want to waste any time. Because you're here for such a specific reason. We've been making this record on the show, live on the show for the last couple of weeks. And our deadline is coming up. People have been recording parts at home. I've been recording here in my studio, and people have been co-producing. That's mostly what's been going on a lot. Is the people watching are like, try an accordion on it, and I would try an accordion, sort of letting them puppeteer me a little bit and ideas that they heard. And so we sort of collectively have made this record over the last couple of weeks. One of the things I've done is I gave us a strict deadline, because that's one of the things I miss from the old days, is that since, before home's recording, trying to make records at home, always going into the studio, you had a finite window. You had 5 days to make your statement, to record it, mix it with the engineer in the studio, get the record out. I mean, before home recording, everything was on a closing window like that. You always had a limited amount of time in some studio with limited resources to make your statement, and so that what's the word that's going on here with the deadline. We have to finish it by Friday. That's the rules, and we've gotten all these parts in. And now it's time to mix, and I keep joking that if I was a doctor, this is typically when I lose the patient.
You're doing so much. You're doing everything, and so few people can do that in the music industry.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say that I can do it. I'm trying to learn how to do it for sure, and it's. I've been making records at home for years now, but they're also, a bunch of records that no one can find anywhere online right now, because I don't want them out there, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing yet. But that's one thing that I've used this project for. I'm like, look, all right, we're going to make a record, and in 3 weeks, it's going to be finished and in the hands of Spotify. We're just going to do it. I'm going to try to and trying to get myself past some stuff and force myself to put something out there. So here we are.
I love it.
And all right, so Tyler I think you have a gift for production and engineering, but you also have a passion and are putting in a lot of time. And so I'm grateful to you for being willing to step up and sensei this project a little bit as we embark upon the mixing process that's going to happen in the next 4 days. And I know there's very limited stuff that you can do in such a short amount of time, and not being hands-on and not being in the studio, but still, let's pick your brain for a little bit here and see what rules of thumb just tumble out of your mouth in terms of what's cool is with this technology, I'll oh, you can probably see some chats popping up on the screen there. If you, Chad Galactic, what's up, buddy? He says, what up, T Tom?
What up, Chad? What up?
You know what I have? I found this today. I don't want to waste any time with you, but I have so much to talk about with you. I found a clip.
I'll come back.
Okay, good. I found a clip earlier of you recording on the original Hippie Fiasco Rides Again record in Chad Galactic's house.
Love that. Love that. That was fun.
So you've been there from the beginning of this.
Oh yeah.
Hippie Fiasco part of all this. Yeah.
Was that your first kind of outsourced project like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were there on day one.
Cool. Love that. Love that.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube. It's anybody can search T-Tom. It's I mean, the video quality is all pixely and weird and the sound is terrible, and but we were young and making a record online, it's this stuff, there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Because thanks to today's technology, Tyler can see the project, the screen, and hear it. He's wearing some nice headphones there. I got my headphones on, and so we're going to be able to play him the track. And what I think we should just do, and this might be the whole moment that we have together, is I picked up one of the pulled up one of the mixes that is baffling to me. That seems like I don't know, well, we can just listen to it. It's the most confusing mix as to how to approach, as far as I can tell when I listen. A lot of them seem obvious what I have to try to pull off, but this one I'm not sure. Just so you know, some of my philosophy about this has changed since the first one I did, where I really tried to include every part that was sent to me, and so that was a daunting task. With this one, that's not, it's whatever serves the mix and the song the best.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid about telling me that we should lose something,
okay,
at all. And I've saved this project as It's Not the End of the World, T-Tom. So whatever we do tonight, with we can be as brutal as we want and click around, and I have
cool.
a save as a backup there. So.
Love it.
All right.
Love it. So which track is this?
It's Not the End of the World.
Okay. I thought you were just saying that.
All right, here I'll call it up at first real quick. Oh, goodness.
Hippie Fiasco.
It would be sweet if you did Yeah.
This was my first year of ever playing banjo.
So it's on a cycle. We can just do it a few times through if you want. I love that it's on the Hippie Fiasco theme song too.
Yeah. I sure was a hippie back then.
Kellen comes in and hugs me with dreads down to his waist.
But it's cool. I mean, if you're cool with it having that, then I am.
Right.
Or we can fix that. But if you don't care,
I missed that shirt.
Shirt on time.
Let's get creepy. We'll keep it creepy together. Do I need to worry about? You have a little like sound system or something?
Oh,
A gospel choir and a little symphony. We're just gonna track that shit real quick, and then we're on our way.
So crazy.
Yeah.
interesting section.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
The
Fiasco.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Had to do it. Had to do it. You playing on the original Hippie Fiasco theme song.
So trippy.
So trippy. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing the track, and should I just play it all the way through, top to bottom, and then we'll talk?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I've forgotten how it feels to touch. Lately I've remembered too much. Now as winter quickly tightens the bind and the only open window is online, I keep seeing such good people in such situations, in such grave pain. Sometimes I have to remind myself what my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Boarded up storefronts, more storms on the way. Not for the wind, not for the rain, but for fear of a friend who might be lost in despair. Everything happens every day somewhere. When it's my house that's burning down and it seems like it's all gone up in flames, sometimes I have to remind myself what my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Tell from here who'll be there when the dust settles, when we clear the air. All my friends are lunatics, so they'll probably survive. They'll probably be glad to be alive. That's what happened on the Titanic. On the Titanic, the musicians played. Sometimes I have to remind myself what my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
There it is.
Cool. All right. First of all, I just want to make sure, is there any kind of like compression or limiting that's already going on within the software.
Oh, good point. Wait, I'm sorry, I was on cycle. Good point. Yes, there is. I should cut that off on all these tracks before we.
Because just
start.
because I'm hearing like things come out kind of in an unnatural way, like the software. Not that Logic is doing it, but just I want to make sure the streaming software isn't compressing it and whatnot.
I put this freaking Abbey Road mastering plugin on the master channels of everything I do.
Honestly,
much.
I do too. I use the same thing. I love that thing.
But yeah, at this point in the mixing, the first move should be probably to cut that off on every track to start out.
Well, not necessarily.
No,
I just meant that the streaming software, I want to make sure that isn't changing the mix.
Oh, I see what you're asking. I have no idea.
Just because it sounds on my end like certain things are like coming through a phone, like it's kind of not the way it naturally is.
Right.
Compared to the mixes on your website.
Right. Well, the mix on the website should be this current mix at the moment.
Okay. Cool. Well, the first thing I noticed on the website mix was some of the S's on your lead vocal, like really kind of jar me in the ears.
Okay.
And my go-to trick with that, rather than using a de-esser, is to manually go through and just turn down the S's.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
Like cut out that section and gain it down.
Yeah, I forget how it works within Logic. If you can just like trim down just, a millisecond or two. Might be a little bit longer, but
let's see if we can find one and do it.
Cool.
So stop me when you hear one, and we'll go in.
Okay.
I feel like this is the patient on the table. This is the doctor on the phone. I'm the innocent bystander that must perform the surgery. I've forgotten how it feels to touch. Lately I've remembered too much. Now as winter quickly tightens the bind and the only open window is online, I keep seeing such good people in such sick. Hey, before we get too far away from it, and I forget, what is your opinion on whether or not I should be cutting that Abbey Road plug-in off the master fader as we start each of these final mixes?
So you're using it on just the master bus?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. I would maybe take the compressor off before sending it to mastering, or just like turn it down so far that you don't really even notice it.
Right.
For me, the thing that I love the most in that is the EQ and like some of the mid boosts in that, and then also the tape, like the IPS tape settings. I love the 7.5 tape setting to get like more of that high mid like airiness to your overall mix.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of that. But
what are the pluses and minuses of having it on in terms of dialing in individual sounds?
I feel like if you are absolutely confident that you love that thing and that's kind of part of your sound, then leave it on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're unsure about it, then I would take it off. Always.
Well, I know I love it, but I don't know why.
Well, that could just be your signature sound, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's I usually go right to the I mean this is where I usually go to this pop mid side widener preset, and it just immediately makes everything sound cooler. And then I tweak it a
Totally.
little then I tweak it a little bit, but not completely knowledgeably, cuz I don't even the side chain aspect of it is a bit beyond me.
Well, one thing, just looking at it now,
Mhm.
I would experiment with turning your compression mix knob down a fair bit, so you're not doing so much, and so that I don't know. Are you going to get this album
Like the
mastered
50.
for Spotify?
We don't have a plan on how yet. We know that's part of the conversation, but
Okay.
we have this deadline, and we don't have much of a budget.
Yeah. They're actually I've had great success with this website called bandlab.com.
I'm writing it down. Hold on. All right.
And it's free. I mean, I would say, like, if you just don't have the time, to do it. Also, I know it's not cheap, so but yeah, if you don't have any money for it, that's the best way to go, I think. But then I don't know if they actually have a direct link to it. I've always had a hard time finding it. It's actually bandlab.com/mastering.
Okay. I've definitely tried a few of the others to mixed results, online mastering places.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
this one though.
I I've been using that for the Fruition Drive um, thing that we've been doing this quarantine, um, because it's like we're not like releasing it out to the world. We're just giving this to our fans, so it's not like it's going to be on iTunes and
Right.
Spotify and the radio and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So what
Forever.
else were we talking about?
Okay, so we'll go back to the thing here. Before we move away from this, the 50% compression or even lower?
Um, you know, Typically with a mix, if you watch the meter, I wouldn't do any more than like a dB or 2 dB of
Okay.
compression on a final mix.
Gotcha.
But that's, if you're going to get it mastered and all that. And then I don't know if you want to mess with it, but the thing on the very left, um, I love putting that on the 7.5 on the right.
Sweet.
And it's not for every song. It might be too intense, but because I typically like darker microphones and things that aren't too bright, that
Right.
helps brighten my mix. If that
Ah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
I need that too. All right, cool. So on to these S's.
I keep seeing such good people.
Yeah, that seeing such.
So
So what
should
what
I
I
not
do
use
is
like I should probably flatten this. Here, wait.
I always
Just for my
forget how.
OCD, I'm gonna back it up here. In Logic, you can make these take folders.
Oh, that's right.
Whoa! I just changed the icon of that. But it's way easier to play with a flattened
Totally.
take. Brian,
So
my producer friend who produced my last record that still isn't released yet, but you've heard some of it.
mhm.
Um, he hates take folders.
It's not as you can't get his hands on with it.
Yeah, it messes everything up. His whole flow is ruined by it. I'm like, yeah, but how do you just nail the take? all my vocals and stuff are comps.
People in such situations.
But then my problem is, how do you commit? How do you know you won't doubt yourself later?
Totally.
People in such
Okay, here's two good S's.
Yep.
So just cut them out and cut them down.
Yeah. So almost cut them out. Just the S's individually, and then bring it down about 5 dB.
situations.
There's a lot of S's in this little phrase.
People in such situations. People in.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably cut them both down at the same time.
Nice.
Down 5 dB.
People in such situations. People in.
Yeah. You know, it shouldn't be noticeable. That's the idea.
People in such situations. In such people in such situations. In such people.
Yeah, it's not hurting my ears anymore, you know?
How about that? Should I do this other S while we're here?
You could.
It's not
For
as
me,
bad, is it?
Yeah, for me, it's like, if it doesn't stick out to me, then I wouldn't touch it. But if it does a little bit, then like meet in the middle, maybe take it down 2 dB or, you know.
It's amazing what you can live with sound-wise before you listen, before you can't anymore. Like I'm trying to think of how to say what I'm like. From now on, I'll hear S's.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas before it was like we used to smoke on airplanes and no one noticed.
Yeah,
But now everybody would be dying.
Yeah. Well, just to be clear though, I was making notes through all of the tracks, and this was track 7, right? Oh yeah, this is track 7. Yeah. And it didn't really bother me until track 9 where I noticed some S's. You know what I mean? Like, so
Which song is that?
Let me go back here.
Oh, I got the list here. Imogene.
Okay, yeah. And so honestly, I misread my note for track 7. I was mostly concerned about the backup vocals.
Okay.
And so for backup vocals, there's a super legit engineer named Vance Powell who has done a lot of great rock and roll out of Nashville. And his go-to is taking out 7K and higher in all of your background vocals.
Just shelving
yeah, just
them.
like totally. And I like live by that now and never miss it.
On any background vocal, no, guy or gal.
Most of the time, yeah. There's always exceptions to the rule, but that is a great trick so that you don't have to like get the enunciations just so spot on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can have a little more flexibility with the patterns of the phrasing.
Interesting.
And then it also kind of just makes it sound like it's a ribbon mic, you know? That's why a lot of legit engineers will use ribbon microphones for backup vocals.
Boy, I wonder if there's a creeper out there who'd be willing to put all these in the notes. We have this we have this feature now with our Discord server that wherever someone's watching, if they type in %sign notes, they can leave a note for a mix, and they all compile. I can just type in %sign notes at any time, and everything that anyone said under that is compiled
Nice.
Technology. So mix notes. So, all right. I'm realizing now that you listened to the whole record and took notes.
I honestly only got to track. What was it?
I'm wondering what the best use of our time is, like diving further into this mix or hearing your notes.
Okay, yeah, I could just go through my notes if you
it's
want.
a tough one. Let's hang out let's hang out just for a second in this mix. Wait, I'm trying to think of I can just watch this back and write and take notes then.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'll do. Got a little confused. I was like, I should write this down. Because that was everything. It's 7 Up from 7 on, right? 7 Up, shelf it.
Yeah, and it's always, always use your ear just to make sure you're not missing or wanting, more or less of something. But yeah, it just really helps those background vocals not get too detailed, and kind of complicate the lyrics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that it's just more focused on the lead vocal.
So let's try a little game here for a second. I'm gonna play the track, and you treat it like you were just opening this mix for the first time, and say someone said, okay, you got 5 minutes to mix that.
Okay.
And just talk me through what you want me to solo for you or moves you want me to make. Just sort of like guide my hand and think out loud.
Okay. Are you going to tell me what the track is ahead of time?
Well, it'll just be the same one or same one.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just in the session.
Okay.
Just tell me what you want me to solo.
Sounds pretty good right here. So I'm hearing a major volume swell, and I don't know if that's within the software or I'm not sure.
Good. That's a good question. You weren't hearing it. You weren't hearing it on the website.
No, not at all.
Okay, so
No.
this might not work as well as I thought it would. But we got to save this patient.
Online. I keep seeing such good people in such situations in such grave pain. Sometimes I have to remind myself what my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world.
I would probably bring the shaker down a couple dB.
Okay.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Did you do that already?
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Looks like there's 2 shaker parts.
Oh. Could we hear what the difference is?
Yep. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Together.
Wow, I never.
The one was pretty low. It was probably just.
It's crazy though how it sounds like it's just one just going continuously. Yeah, that's trippy.
Should I kill one?
No, I think it's they work well together. But what I was gonna say though is I feel like I'm missing a little bit of momentum just after that chorus in that next verse. And I was thinking you might want to put in one of those shakers halfway through the next verse.
Ah. Do you know which one?
Whichever one is more subdivided. like has
Like-
more going on, you know?
That one. All right, tell me if this level sounds better. Let's see.
Oh, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right, so going into the next verse.
Boarded up storefronts, more storms on the way. Not for the wind, not for the rain, but for fear of a friend who might be lost in despair. Everything happens every day somewhere.
Right here?
Yeah,
When it's my house that's
yeah.
every day somewhere. When it's my house that's burning down, and it seems like it's all gone up in flames. Sometimes I have to remind myself
It feels good.
what my grandma would say. Oh, it's
And
not
then maybe
the end of the world.
Mute it. I would mute it right in there. Mute it during that break.
Oh, just in the break, but back in
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
chorus.
Yeah, yeah.
What my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world.
Nice.
Oh, it's not the end of the world.
I'd bring that down a bit. Yeah, do you have any?
That's the accordion.
Yeah, no, it sounds great, but I would bring it down probably 2 dB.
It's like
See where
finding
that-
Waldo. Where's Waldo? Oh, accordion.
There it is.
Oh wait, I'm playing two at once now. Is that a bad? How often do you do that?
Oh, 2 tracks or 2 takes at
Yep.
once.
I think I do
Um,
that too much.
If you're doing it, I would experiment with panning them. If
See,
it's the same,
that's I haven't panned anything yet, if you can believe it.
which no, I could tell on certain things.
Yeah.
But I kind of love that in a way, you know.
I'm trying to be
Um,
disciplined. I'm like, I don't just stay within the parameters.
Nice, Mimi. But yeah, they didn't sound bad. I think that they were just a little bit hot in the mix. So I would just bring them both down a couple dB and see how it sits.
What do you have any rules about doubling things up like that? Do you use 2 takes very often?
It's to me, it's like one of my favorite Beatles effects. You know,
Right.
like in my early rootsy years, I wasn't so into doubling. But the more I got into production and like dissecting what the Beatles did, which to me is kind of like the Holy Grail or the Bible of
Right.
what to do. And yeah, I love doubling stuff as long as you intend to and you actually do the same part. You know,
Right.
there's nothing worse than it being kind of the same part, but not really, you know?
See, that's the thing is I don't think I don't necessarily intend to. I just always do take folders and then often use 2 of them,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
might just be overcompensating and actually making something smaller when I think I'm making it bigger, which is something I realized I did for years. I kept trying to make things bigger and was actually making them smaller in the process in a way that I wasn't aware of. So I was not learning some important lessons along the way.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, maybe mute it. Pick your favorite of the 2 and see how it sits. And then that should be about the right volume.
I'll
if you
guess.
do.
I'll guess my favorite was the first one, and the copy was the second place, the runner-up. That trick doesn't work anymore. I'm gonna listen to the other one while we're here, real quick.
Yeah.
That I can see why I doubled them up. Maybe that just needs a little delay and it's gold.
I was thinking that actually. Yeah, just put some long delay on it and have it just carry over, you know?
Can we do that real quick? I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what you mean by long delay. Oh, it already has a little something on it. So, all right, here's this delay. You have you discovered Valhalla stuff yet?
You know, I have, but I kind of forget to use them.
Their reverbs are so good. So,
Cool.
so what? So how? What? Why did you say long delay, and what does that mean?
Oh, just like, you know, maybe something that's rhythmically in time, like a, you know, eighth note, or can you
I can
yeah,
put it
can you
on
go by
notes.
there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
So, like, you think an eighth note?
Yeah, try that.
Is that why would you call that a long delay? Because it's not just like a flutter.
Yeah. Yeah. Like short delay would be like a slap back.
Right. And then
But
how much feedback? How many times should we hear it?
I guess let's just see where that gets us. You might I would roll off the high end.
And
I
maybe
would
the wow and flutter.
I'm always kind of a fan of those a little bit as long as they're not too out of hand.
Right.
But sometimes taking the high end low pass all the way to like, you know, 4K can give it kind of like a tape simulation.
Wait, like that?
Yeah. And then I would take the low all the way up to like probably 200. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
How much of a mix?
Let's see where that is.
I couldn't
do you have
really
a
hear it that much.
Yeah, do you have a compressor on it?
It looks like
On
I
the
do.
track?
Yeah.
I would compress it a little bit more, maybe.
The although I realize now these accordions were in a folder, and I had the effects on the folder.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
Do you think that matters?
Is it like a mix bus or I mean a
It is like
subgroup or
I guess it is like a bus. It shows up in the buses when I try to bus something. Accordions is one of the.
I guess just as long as you see the meter going down on the compressor to make sure it's working. You know?
Right. So I got this this guy on it. Oh wait. Is that too much?
No, maybe do it again since you took a minute to get the setting. Yeah, that works for me.
Is that
I can't say that it's actually better than it was with the 2.
right? I was thinking the same thing.
Like with what I'm hearing over the stream, it's hard to say if I can actually hear the delay or not.
Yeah,
also,
I actually, to be honest, I'm not hearing it that much myself.
Okay. But it's hard to say in this context, like if the delay is better than the 2. But if anything, just compress them and bring it down a bit. But
So
where it's at,
let's see. Let's set it where I'm gonna bring in both again. And bring this master fader down on the folder and tell me where you think it should sit. Too low, I guess.
yeah.
Does that still feel a little too low?
I think now that you have both accordions going on that same compressor, the compressor is it's taking the peaks down too much now. So I would take off, some of that compression. Yeah, now try that. And I would add just a touch more of that compression.
Okay.
Yeah, just right there. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's feeling better.
Yeah, seems better. Cool.
Look at that. Come on, what are you doing for the next 4 days, man?
No, I'll give you a hand. I'll give you a hand. Yeah, what else were we talking about on this one? So, this might be a little bit of a rabbit hole, but we don't have to go there. But if you do have some kind of a rhythmic delay, it might be fun to add that to just the hi-hat track if possible.
Now, this one is MIDI drums. And there's it looks like here's the drum situation. It's a little bit of a mess. Get ready. Take a deep breath before you might want to sit down before you look. Not only being a producer and engineer, but an amazing drummer. Oh, Tyler Thompson, by the way, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how are you?
And here's what we got. We got these. This is a drum set, Superior Drummer. You ever checked Superior Drummer out?
No, because I played.
Yeah, that's of course of course you haven't. Well, for those of us songwriters, non-drumming songwriters, Superior Drummer is pretty awesome because it's just a bunch of drum kits really super well recorded, sampled, with really in a really amazing environment with room sounds and everything. And you can, I mean, just look at this. I probably shouldn't even show you this. I feel like the devil having this conversation with you. But it is neat how it works. So you got your MIDI. Where did it show up? My computer's a little sluggish because we're doing so much. So you can swap out every drum, and each drum is actually that drum well sampled and with amazing articulations. So you can change every drum, swap it out, and like fully mix them here with how much of the room you want to dial in, overheads, and all that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
Depending,
Wow.
I don't usually go in here very much because I just don't know enough to do that. But this might be where you want me to go right now.
Yeah, it's possible.
But just to finish the quick tour of what's going on in this rhythm track is those are the drums, and then there's the percussion version of the same software kind of thing, and then some actual loops. There's this Latin Day Bongo 03.
Love it.
Those are just the shakers. Okay, so not as much as I thought. Here's this is the percussion track. Wait, it froze. Here we go. And it sounds like it probably has too much reverb. I think I did this after watching like a Phil Spector thing on YouTube about how he got the wall of sound.
Oh yeah.
Is that crazy?
I mean, it's definitely on the dramatic side, but hey,
But am I muddying up the mix with that?
it's not throughout the song, so I think it's effective.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Could you tell that? Can you hear that? Did you hear that in the track, or is that just sort of becoming part of the mysterious collection of reverbs?
I was liking it. The way you had it.
And here's the drum kit by itself. This is the song is "It's Not the End of the World." So what's the experiment?
So we must be in a different section where it's not straight eighth notes anymore. Right?
Where would that? This looks like it. That's right.
It's interesting because until now I thought the whole song had straight eighths.
Well, it's probably a collection. Here, I'll unsolo again. Storms on the way, not for the wind, not for the rain, but for fear of a friend who might be lost in despair. Everything happens every day somewhere. When it's my house that's burning down, and
That
it
is weird.
seems like it's all gone up in flames. Sometimes I have to remind myself what my grandma would say. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not the end of the world.
So
Uh-huh.
I would experiment with going into the drum track and see what it is like if you straighten the eighth notes out. Um, it could be like a world of difference, or it might not be as cool. Sometimes, like, there's a lot of those kind of old, like, um, Chuck Berry recordings, or things where like the drummer is shuffling but the guitar is straight, or vice versa, and it can be kind of cool. But typically, you would want to keep them consistent.
Would this be a section of the song to try it on? End of the world. A chorus or?
So that delay I was hearing in my head was specifically for the verses, on just the hi-hat if possible.
Mm-hmm.
But we might be able to get away with it on the whole kit if you do a high pass.
Gotcha. I could definitely put it on just the hi-hat in that mixer board inside, or I could get really cheesy and just create another track and put just the hi-hat on it.
Yeah.
Just
the
hi-hat from the verses.
It can be cool to just try the simplest approach first and just see if it magically works.
Right. But when you said straighten out the eighth notes, would the chorus be a good place to demonstrate that?
Well, because I wasn't hearing any swung eighth notes until you played the drums in the chorus, isolated. And I think in the verses you just have pretty much just quarter notes on the hi-hat. So that's why I never really picked up on the swung eighth notes.
Here's the verse. And that's the chorus. Those guys, right?
It's hard to say without hearing it.
End of the world. Oh. End of the world. Oh, wait. Slow.
Yeah, it feels like a totally different song when you isolate it.
I know.
Yeah, so can you quantize the ride cymbal to just be eighth notes? Straight eighths?
Oh, there's still a little. Still a little off the grid, aren't they?
But it's definitely better.
So let's see.
Yeah, it is still somehow slightly swung, but I'm not a fan of perfect drums anyway. So
all right, I wonder why they're not. Do you know why they're not responding to quantize eighth note? Oh, maybe just strength. Oh, okay. Because strength is.
There you go.
So that's the straight up here.
Yeah, there you go.
And oh, that feels better.
Good. So yeah, I don't know if you want to go through and see if the delay can be added to that hi-hat or not. It's more of a just fun idea than anything, but
so what kind of delay would you put on it?
Ideally something that has an eighth note and a dotted eighth note. So you kind of get like a
dual.
Yeah.
Well, here's a, but you would only want it on the choruses?
No, actually the verses.
I mean, all right, only on the verses.
But it doesn't hurt to try it on the choruses. You can always mute it if you want later.
Because if we want it on both, there's one way I would do it. If we only want it on the verses, there's another way I would do it. I don't want to use automation to take it in and out for
Fair.
the choruses.
Yeah, let's just try it throughout. Can you try within the superior drummer?
Yeah, that's the move. I'll just go to the hi-hat, delay, tape delay, filter delay, or classic echo. Tape delay?
Let's do tape delay. Okay.
Can you see that?
Just barely.
So we're going to be putting 2 on?
Yeah. So do they give you the option
Here,
of
I can make it a
rhythmic
little
delays?
bigger for you. Now, I haven't spent as much time in here.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Cool. So, I would
Timer
say,
notes.
yeah,
There you
go
go.
note. So it looks like they just have one delay option. Is that right?
Yeah, we might have to put 2 of them on.
Okay. Well, let's just try this one. And
So
then
there's
let's
distortion,
try.
wow, flutter, dry, wet.
Yeah, let's try the wet up to like 40%, and then
All
just
right.
see how that sits.
Here, I'll do it soloed.
I guess turn up.
I could solo the hi-hat too.
Oh, okay. So now it just sounds like eighth notes, which we may or may not want. You know.
Should we try the dotted?
Yeah, let's try a dot and eighth note. Yeah. All right. Now turn up the repeats.
To
Just
Here's
keep
four.
going. And then just for fun, turn up the distortion.
I wonder why it's not playing that. Oh, there's no hi-hat on the chorus.
Yeah. So it should work.
All right.
There you go. That's kind of getting what I was feeling in my head.
Sounds more like you. Which is a good thing.
But yeah, I was just hoping that might give a little more momentum to the verses without being too prominent, you know?
Wow. Hear of a friend who might be lost in despair. Everything happens every day somewhere. When it's my house that's burning down, and it seems like it's all gone up in flames. Can you hear it? Sometimes I have to.
It's hard to say.
Myself
maybe go back to a section with no shaker.
Say, oh, it's not the end of the world. Boarded up storefronts, more storms on the way. Not for the wind.
Yeah, maybe try a 50-50 blend on
rain, but for fear of a friend who might be lost in despair. Everything happens every day somewhere. When it's my house that's burning down. Should I cut up the hi-hat at all? Seems like it's all gone up in
that. Maybe just turn it up.
The hi-hat overall?
Yeah.
Say, oh, it's not the end of the world.
Maybe just like 2 dB.
There's 2.4. Whoops. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Is that? Here's
I'm
what's
hearing
going
those
in the solo.
Yeah, there's those swung eighths again. You might want to straighten those out. But in some ways, it's kind of cool in a way. I don't hate it. I'll say that. But, you know, just for rhythmic sake, if it's just the hi-hat, you may want to straighten it out since everything else is
I feel
straight
like this
there.
thing needs all the straightening it can get.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Sweet. That was
Yeah,
fun.
so you can mess with that. Let me see if there's anything else in there.
So I feel like you've already gone way past what we talked about, over and beyond the Call of Duty. I love you for it. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, I can't help it, but yeah.
And the only reason I'm bringing that up now, as opposed to just keeping you working on this, is I'm wondering if you'll tell us the other notes you took.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to just say them real quick?
Yeah, I won't. I can just watch the show back. I don't need to write them down.
Okay, cool. So I don't remember. I didn't write down the track names just because I was trying to go quick. But the first track on your website, which do you know what that is?
Sweet Song.
Okay. I was feeling actually a similar delay on the shaker that we just created for the hi-hat. Could be kind of cool for that song also.
I don't think there is a shaker on it. You know what's on it? My nail file.
Oh.
I had to file my nails because they kept hanging up on the strings, and I was just sitting in front of the mic doing it, and it sounded so cool in the mic. I was like, I got it. That's it. That's the sound. It's my porch board is the kick, and my nail file for the shaker.
I love it. Very cool. It sounded just like a shaker, so well done.
That's great. So a dotted eighth delay, perhaps?
Yeah. Maybe you could even just save the preset or something, or screenshot it or something, so you can do it easily in the other song.
Nice.
And then the only other note for that song, I was feeling whatever sounds like a mellotron, I would turn that up. Unless
it's a pedal on my acoustic. It's a mellotron pedal that my acoustic is going through.
I just got one of those too.
Yeah, love it. Mel 9.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Love it. Game changer.
It's so good. When I opened for the Bar Brothers, all I took was my tenor guitar and the Mel 9.
Nice.
And it was such a sound for 4 strings, just like
I love it.
Where are the angels?
I really want to hear Mimi's mandolin through that thing.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was hard. Basically, it was hard to tell if the mellotron was there outside of the intro and the outro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I wouldn't say turn it up in the intro and the outro, but if it is elsewhere in the song, I would like more of it. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, it was my guitar's going through. So the guitar line has the Mel 9 on it, but then I have a clean mic signal as well.
Cool.
But by bringing up that Mel 9 sound, I'll also be bringing up the line guitar at those moments.
Oh, I see. Cool.
So maybe I should just add some mellotron to it,
Well, there you go. You should get one of these splitters. It's an ABY splitter for that kind of stuff, so that you have the completely isolated.
There are 2 lines coming out of the Mel 9 that it has a dry line that I'm not even using.
That's right. Yeah. So, if you want to get extra in depth with it, I love that. But okay, so track 2, what's the name of that one?
Come Over.
Okay. I was feeling like the fiddle or violin could come up in
That's
that
Chris
one.
Lynch. Yeah, from Marty O'Reilly and the Old Soul Orchestra.
Nice,
Really
nice.
nice.
It sounded great. Um, and then I was hearing like the keys could come up around 2 minutes. I
Okay.
forget what. I think it was like a high roads kind of
Yep.
sound.
Bobcat playing the Rhodes.
Cool. I would turn that up around 2 minutes.
Nice.
And then did you have a bass part on this track?
It might be Lex.
Okay. Well, there was
I'm not. I
there
can't
was
remember.
it sounded great. There was two spots where it sounded like it was on the wrong chord or something.
Mm.
Around 58 seconds, I heard that, and then 2 minutes and 46 seconds, I heard something a little wonky. And then that's it for that track. Again, to be honest, I only listened to him one time through and just kind of made just, real quick notes. So there may be more if you want them.
Oh, absolutely.
And then on track 3, which is what?
3 is Used to Be a Ramblin' Man.
Okay.
That's the only track. That's the only track with real drums, and I just got them last night, late night.
Nice. So I was thinking that I really like is it a classical guitar you're playing?
The nylon, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking you could maybe bring out some of the mids in it.
Okay.
Like turn up either like around 1.4 kilohertz to like 3 kilohertz, somewhere in that range, just to kind of bring out like the more I don't know, mid-range frequencies. Anyways,
I feel like after I'm a victim of, like learning a lot of how to do all this stuff on YouTube, and and which sometimes can be really I realize now like what I really miss, not having an actual mentor in this endeavor, and like a real in the flesh someone being like slapping my hand.
yeah.
And hit or miss on YouTube. Sometimes you get some really good advice, and sometimes you get some really bad advice, and sometimes there's no such thing.
Yeah.
But I always tend to, for some reason, I always tend to cut around the 1K on a lot of things,
Really?
because I read somewhere that it was like the troublesome frequency. should I stop doing that? I shouldn't just do things by rote anyways. I should only do them because I think it needs to be done for some reason. I'm learning that finally.
Yep. That's a big one. But yeah, especially for acoustic guitars, that's the range that I end up turning up a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean by a lot?
Like specifically, there's something about 1.4 kilohertz that just makes a guitar just louder without turning up the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting so much low end and woofiness, and you're not getting so much of the clickety clacky pick noise. You just hear more of the notes, and you hear more of the guitar without it just being overall louder.
That's cool. Do you usually trim do you put a shelf on the lows on an acoustic guitar, or?
Yeah, it depends on the song or the guitar, but I almost never have anything in there below 80 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it all depends. But if a mix is real cluttered and has a lot of guitars, I could cut a guitar all the way up to like 140 hertz sometimes. All depends on the song though. Okay, so but then
Oh God, look at this. You will not believe this. This is how I have. Let me make sure it's not one of the weird guitars. Oh yeah. Oh, you might want to sit down. Dude.
Oh, there it is.
Look at, I mean, that's bad. That's not just a little dip.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna want those.
So I should just undo, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't undo it all. I
Well,
wouldn't undo it all.
I just did.
Yeah.
So how much of
Oh, and I see one thing going on, I believe, that you may want to fix too.
Okay.
Do you have a compressor going before your EQ?
Yes.
Okay, put the compressor after. Because
And
all
it
of
is
that stuff that you're cutting out of the low end is triggering the compressor before you cut it all out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Big
you
time.
always want to cut before a compressor, and then if you can, add frequencies after the compressor.
Gotcha.
So I don't expect you to do this on everything, but typically what I do is I have one EQ before the compressor, and then I have a separate EQ that's after the compressor.
So your cuts are before the compressor, and your boosts are gotcha.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to boost those mids, I go down, grab a channel EQ after the compressor.
But that being said, you trying to do 14 songs in 4 days, I maybe wouldn't recommend that.
So how high up would you boost? What would be? I mean, I guess it's just how it sounds. There's no rule.
Yeah, and it may not need it now that you put all those back in, either.
Right.
So, I would start with maybe just a couple dB added.
Why am I not hearing that very much?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from this end just because
reverb,
of
right?
the streaming and all that.
It could be because of the reverb. Cool. That was awesome.
But yeah. And then I was gonna suggest that when the drums kick in after the intro, I would turn that guitar down probably a couple dB.
Again, we're talking used to be a rambling man here. Okay.
Yeah, track 3, right?
Guitar down, right? Guitar down after the drums come in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that one. I probably have more notes that I could add to it. But maybe I'll do that on another day. Since that's all I have for now. So moving on to track 4, which is what?
Honeybee.
Okay. I would say first off, turn the vocal down about a decibel. Just compared to the other tracks, it seemed to be quite a bit hotter. And then I would say a bit less drum reverb on that one.
Okay.
And then that's all I had for that song. Track 5, which is what?
Lie to Me, Baby. That's
all
a
right.
dense mix.
I had an idea of maybe not having any of the cymbals or any of the drums at all until about 23 seconds in. Where I think there's like a roll,
Right.
And then have it just kind of kick in from there. Because I was liking that guitar part that you have, and the drums didn't to me add anything, and sometimes it's better to just not have them until you need them,
Right.
All right, and then I had a note before 2 minutes and 29 seconds. I would turn up the harmonies. And then let's see here. Oh, I would say turn up the lead guitar and the harmonies or like the ahs in the instrumental section.
Okay.
And then
The lead guitar, you just mean the rhythm guitar?
there's some kind of a lead guitar in the instrumental section that I wanted to hear more of. I want to say it had like a wah on it.
Oh wait, can't be the same song.
Track 5.
Oh, Lie to Me, Baby. I'm sorry, I was still thinking Honeybee in my brain. All right,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
I'm back with you. I'm back with you.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so that wah I think could come up a little bit, and then I think those ahs could be featured a lot more in the instrumental to kind of fill the space.
The backup vocals.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
then also same thing at 2 minutes and 39 seconds. I forget what the melody instrument is, but whatever that is could come up. There's some kind of like um, some kind of a Middle Eastern guitar sound that I thought could come up there, as well as the Oz also could come up.
Did you have any impressions? You probably don't remember at this point on "Lie to Me" arrangement wise. I can't tell if it's too long. It does it does two breakdowns, like a solo section, then another verse, chorus, and then it does this whole breakdown again before a double chorus.
Huh. I can't say without hearing it right now.
Right.
But honestly, none of them stuck out to me as being long. So
We had some fun arranging on this record for sure. Like there was one song I cut 3 verses out of just to it went from a 6-minute song to under 3 minutes.
Oh wow.
Just the brutal arrangement night, like, cranking out the hits here. That's too long, like.
Yeah.
And there's a couple that we really whittled down just to make them more fun like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm always a fan of trimming the fat.
Right.
So moving on to track 6.
Okay, track 6 is There It Goes.
Okay. I had a note to maybe compress the drums a bit more on that one. Maybe some kind of a cool, like, overdriven, like, parallel compression thing. I don't know if you've ever done any of that. We can get into that on a later day if you want. And then I was hearing, like, I think the piano could come up in this one. Is there an actual bass on this song, or is it just piano?
I think there's a synth bass.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I could tell there was some kind of a bass going on, but there was a lot of moments where it, like, I felt like I was missing it.
Okay.
So I don't know if.
Yeah, I think it's really simple. Just like every C, like on the one, just making sure there's some low in there going. Boo,
Yeah.
boo.
So yeah, like, because I couldn't tell if it was on the piano track, like it could have been like a low piano part or not. So there's no actual bass on this track, just the synth.
Right.
Okay. Well, maybe you could mess with a little more compression on the synth bass so that it sustains a little bit longer.
Okay.
Has a little more decay to it. Just because, yeah, I felt like a lot of those cracks could have been filled in the low end.
Right.
And then, but if that's a pain, I mean, it's probably going to be great either way. I was feeling like the slide could come up on that one. Also,
the slide.
Some kind of a slide. I forget somewhere. I want to say I was hearing like pedal steel or something.
I don't think so. You got this?
Number 6.
Oh, I mean, There It Goes. Yeah, number 6. There It Goes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's horns, piano, bass, drums, and guitar.
Maybe there's like some kind of a electric guitar part that sounded like pedal steel. Well, if that's the case, then don't ignore that note. And then is this MIDI drums?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is except for Ramblin' Man.
Okay. There's one fill at 2 minutes and 26 seconds that I would either just take out or maybe even try muting the drums.
Okay.
Um,
wait, just for that moment or in general?
yeah, just for that moment.
Right.
And then I think that's it for that song.
That's one thing that's fun about MIDI drums. Easy peasy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And you don't offend anyone either.
I could take that fill right on out for you. Yep.
Yeah, and you won't get any drumsticks thrown at you while you do it.
That's right.
All right, so track 7.
Okay,
which
that's
is
It's Not the End of the World.
okay. That one we already did.
Yep.
Okay, so track 8.
You Got This.
Okay. I felt like the vocal could come up on this one. And then I felt like maybe experiment with muting the low brass in the first verse. Just the first verse.
Muting it?
Yeah, muting the tuba or whatever those horns are.
It's not important that it establishes that hook or whatever. Because right now the song starts with the tuba.
Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere else in the song, right?
Right.
And to me, it kind of does like a cool like spotlight on the vocal when you take the bass away at the top of a verse like that.
But would you leave it in for the intro?
Yes.
All right, that's what I was wondering. So leave it in for the intro, but bring it out for the vocals.
Yeah.
And then bring it. Would it ever come back in to stay, or keep going out for the verses?
Yeah. No, I would leave it in from there on out.
So after the
verse 1, it's
after
just
verse
in.
1. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then that's all I got for that track.
All right.
Track 9. This was the one where I was saying that some S's were popping out to me.
Okay.
And then if you want,
this is
I love that.
Imogene.
I love that intro you did, and I was kind of wanting it to sound a little more lo-fi in a way. So I was thinking, like, I don't know if there's a way for you to change your mix to just be mono, just for the intro.
Ooh.
Like so that that you know what I mean, something like that, or maybe just try no reverb on the intro.
Okay. People were saying last night to just kill the organ for the intro and have it just be ukulele and voice. I feel like that'll be way different vibe, but it might work.
Yeah, it didn't stick out to me in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to me, I would make that intro like the most intimate thing you could do, like, you know, as far as like taking away most of the effects and just making it raw, you know, and then when the band comes in, then you get back to it, you know.
Right.
So that's it for that one, and honestly, that's all that I have so far.
So cool of you to do that.
Track 10, all I have is Love It. So track 10, I think
Bad Time to Be a Clown.
That one might have been my favorite, I think.
Nice. I love that one too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you said you'd do 30 minutes, and I had you for an hour and a half. I feel like the luckiest man on the planet. It's so sweet of you to do this for us.
It's my pleasure. And yeah, I'll gladly come back. I know you're crunching through it, so send me your updated mixes, and I'll give you what I got.
I'll be updating the player each night with where they are at the moment. So, if you ever have a free moment, you want to just click through the beginnings or something, or
Yeah.
if there's something you were curious about, don't be afraid. If you see I'm live or something, send a text. Either you can even just send a text with a hot tip, or if you can say, "Bring me on for a second. I got something for you."
Cool.
Just whenever. That rule is always true for all my friends. You can be
Cool.
on you can be on my show anytime you want.
Awesome.
Anytime
Love
you're
it.
like, oh, what should I do? Maybe I should go be on Nathan's show.
Are robes allowed?
Absolutely. Encouraged.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Dude, thank you so much. Tyler Thompson
Yeah,
from
my
Fruition Mix Notes. It's a new show in
Studio.
and of itself. All right. What's the name of your studio again?
Studio 110.
That's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go make some gold.
We've already done a Fruition record here, and a Mimi Naja record is coming out soon from here, and lots of other projects I'm working on.
Someday I'm going to make a record there.
Please do.
I want Fruition to be my band.
Yes.
I'm planting that seed.
Love it.
All right.
Well, it was an honor.
Back at
And,
you, buddy.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
I definitely promise to chime in more in the next few days. So
Love it. Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Take it easy.
And like that, he was gone. Wow. Amazing. So, it's just perfect. I think I'm definitely going to mix now. I'm definitely going to mix, but I think I'm going to end this show just to keep it as a nice little nugget. That was a wonderful hang, very informative, and I'll put a little bow on it here, I think. But I can't leave you without playing this video. This is at one time I sat in with Fruition at a festival here in I guess it was, what was it, West Virginia? And they called me up during their set, and we played in the basement, and it was awesome. Here it is.
Hippie fiasco.
The show, by the way, brought to you, but wait, I should interrupt. We'll talk about it later. Check.
Sitting here naked, sitting here hooked. Just wanna get swallowed by an ancient book. Sitting here starving, sitting here stuffed, looking for my diamond, feeling rough, like a scarecrow, in love with a crow. Can't remember if I just don't know. My hands, they tremble like a wind-blown rose. Every day, it's an overdose, and I feel like I'm walking on air, like I'm falling down stairs in the basement. In the basement. In the basement. Sitting here broken, sitting here healed, sitting here betting down the line I'll know the deal. I've never been a man, much for according to plan. Now I'd rather take a chance than make a stand. It's gotta be better than fading like a goddamn flower. Better than sitting there 80 miles an hour. Come on, I need a little hallelujah to get the medicine down. God, if you could do it, put me back on the ground, 'cause I feel like I'm walking on air, like I'm falling down the stairs in the basement, in the basement, in the basement. I'm sitting here, walking a familiar lane. There's cameras, microphones, everyone's still out of frame. I'm all alone. It's a soliloquy. Nobody says nothing when I say line please, and I say cut, but they keep rolling. I got my phone out, but nobody's slowing, and everybody seems so happy, like they know where they're going. They can all just be acting, there's no way of knowing, but I feel like I'm walking on air, like I'm falling down the stairs in the basement, in the basement, in the basement.
So good. Well, what a wonderful show. Thank you, Tyler Thompson, for stopping by Hippie Fiasco World.
Nathan Moore, y'all. Virginia's own Nathan Moore right here. Put on a tie and everything.
All right, I'm going to stop this stream. I'm going to stop the stream and just take about 10 minutes and then go live again. We'll start the final mixes. Oh, man, we're on our way. We are on our way. The clock is ticking. We got this. We got this. I'll see y'all in a few minutes. And I don't know. We'll start at the top. What's the top? I don't know.